1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Aaron McCarty. And joining us for a couple of minutes is State Representative Alan Seabaugh. Lots to cover when you guys get together. State legislature meets starting Monday. Where you want to start? Gas tax again.
Yeah, let's talk about the gas tax because our Shreveport Chamber of Commerce has come out in favor. They've joined the coalition supporting a 17-cent increase. Surprised by that decision by our business community?
No, that statewide, you've got the gas tax is the one revenue measure that the governor's pushing that actually has support on both sides. It has opposition on both sides as well. There are a lot of groups that are traditional Democrat bases have come out against it because it's a form of sales tax, which in their idea, I mean, their argument is that it affects poor people more, it has a greater impact on less wealthy people, so they're against it. The chamber's for it because the businesses want the projects and the roads, and they need the roads to be better. So it's an interesting issue because it does have support on both sides. It has opposition on both sides. And in this environment, getting to two-thirds is going to be very difficult. If there's anything that's proposed this year that actually has a chance of getting there, it's the gas tax, in my opinion.
We had State Representative Cedric Glover on last hour, and basically I asked him what you just said. I said, the proposed gas tax, 17 cents less, just to pull a number up. I said, it's basically a consumption tax. Are you conflicted? He said, I'm not conflicted at all. I'm voting no. And I would assume in this specific area, you and he are brothers in arms, correct?
Yes, and I'm probably a no, but here's my argument. I'm a no on any revenue enhancement, any tax revenue, anything that costs a citizen of Louisiana more money to live in Louisiana until you show me that it's needed. And there has been zero attempt at streamlining the budget, at eliminating waste, at being a better steward of the taxpayer dollars since this governor got elected. There's been zero. All they've done is say, give me more money, raise this tax, raise that tax, and until somebody convinces me that we've streamlined, that we've done something to try to be a better steward of the tax dollars that we already have, then I'm a no on any new revenue. And I'm a no on increase.
You said before that sentence, you said, I'm probably a no. When I hear a politician say I'm probably a no, I hear yes.
No, I'm a no, but what I'm saying is I'm hopeful that we can actually do some budget reform, and they can convince me that there's an effort towards cutting the budget. I'm not very hopeful, but I'm hopeful. So I don't ever say never, but that's about as much of a no as you're going to get from me. I'm a no until I see budget reform, and I don't think there's any way we're going to see budget reform with this governor.
Do you come to the table with some budget cutting ideas of your own? I'd like to hear that.
Sure. Well, one of the things is a big picture standpoint. We have a large percentage of the budget that is dedicated, either in the Constitution or in statute, to various things, a lot of different things. Things that are good, things that need to be funded. But maybe not at 100% when you're whacking higher ed by 30% and you're cutting TOPS by 30%. What I would like to see is an undedication of the vast majority of the funds that are currently dedicated, so that when we do have a shortfall, everybody can take a 3 to 5% cut instead of some things being funded at 100% and education being cut by 30%. That doesn't make any sense. So that's a structural problem. We have too much of our money comes in and it's already dedicated. The legislature doesn't get the option of funding it. And this gas tax is a very good example of that. If this passes, every penny of that gas tax is going to be dedicated to some specific area, and it's going to be out of the legislature's hands. So when this money comes in, we won't get to appropriate it. And that's one of the biggest problems, and that's why we're in the pickle that we're in from a budget standpoint, is we don't have the latitude to cut a lot. most of the things in the budget are out of our hands. We cannot cut them. And we've got to change those dedications. We've got to loosen those strings to give us an opportunity to spend the money that we do have more wisely.
Mr. Allen, the governor's, one of the other proposals, I guess, next week is going, what's it called? The gross
receipts tax. I know you love that, Alan.
Tax. What are you hearing about that? Has that got a shot in the... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Now, he's actually calling it a commercial activity tax, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's a monumentally bad idea that I haven't talked to anybody that's supporting it other than the representative that introduced the bill.
So that's dead in the water.
I would like to think so. I haven't talked to everybody, but I don't see that one going anywhere.
Minimum wage increase to $8.50 an hour over 2 years. How do you feel about that one?
Dead in the water.
Really?
Yeah.
Not a chance.
No.
Okay, what other revenue-raising measures are you expecting to see? I know there will be like $1.03 billion. Yeah,
we have... We're scheduled to hear, I think, 65 or 70 bills the first week of session. There's 140 tax bills that are introduced. We're gonna on Tuesday we're gonna hear personal income tax. On Wednesday we're going to hear corporate income tax, and on Thursday we're going to hear sales tax bills, and that's going to knock out about half of the tax bills that are introduced this session.
And the Ways and Means Committee is the first stop, right?
Yes, and we're going to meet Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, hearing 20 to 25 bills a day, broken down by category. And my gut feeling at this point is that there's not support to pass anything.
Can you guys take the dedications off of these funds yourselves, or do these need to go back to the voters?
Or to the via the Constitution?
Yeah, both. If they're dedicated by statute, we can do it ourselves with the governor's signature, and if they're in the Constitution, then they would require a constitutional amendment.
Are those measures being discussed?
Yes, but that's not Ways and Means. That's not a tax issue. That's a spending issue, so that goes through appropriation.
Okay.
But yes.
For Cedric Glover to tell us that as you say all the time, we have a spending problem, he says, no, that is not the problem. It's because of Medicare expansion and other government mandates that our budget has expanded. Can you answer that claim?
Yeah, I mean, with all due respect to my colleague, it just denies reality to say we don't have a spending problem. We have, when you look at it, this is the largest or second largest budget Louisiana has ever had. Our growth rate of our budget has outpaced the growth rate of the economy, the growth rate of inflation combined. And you've got, if you look at per capita spending, we're by far and away the highest in the South and one of the highest in the nation. To say that the state of Louisiana does not spend too much of its taxpayers' dollars is just ridiculous. It denies reality. The state has enough money to fix the roads, to fund higher education, to fund TOPS, to fund the hospitals, to fund K through 12 education, and everything else that lawmakers talk about all the time. We have more than enough to do that at awesome levels. The problem is we have that way too much dedicated in these pet projects in certain areas that we can't touch. And it's ridiculous. And it is all spending. I think we tax our citizens too much. I believe there's enough room to cut taxes. Everybody keeps saying we have to replace this $1 billion of the sales tax that's going away next year. No, we don't. We don't have to replace it. Not with new taxes. We can replace it with spending cuts. Let's do it on the spending side. We have enough money right now. In fact, I think we take too much money out of the pockets of our citizens. We make it too expensive for business to do business in Louisiana. We make it too expensive for people to live in Louisiana right now. We need to be rolling back that burden, which will bring businesses into the state, which will put people to work, which money turns over in the economy 8 times, and it's just better for everybody if you fix the economy by lowering taxes and bringing in business and putting people to work rather than raising taxes, which chases business out of the state, which puts people on government assistance, which just simply costs more money.
The governor's going to address you guys when you open the session Monday evening. What would Alan Seabaugh like? Would the governor saying we're going to cut staff by 10% across the board, would that be music to your ears?
It depends. I mean, look, Bobby Jindal put these hiring freezes, and he cut positions, which looks good on paper, until you look at the fact that payroll increased. So what they did was they lowered the number of state employees, but they paid the ones they kept more than they were paying everybody before. And that's the wrong way to go. I would rather have more people working for less money than fewer people working for more money. So it's great to say, for Jindal to say, I cut positions, but he didn't cut salary or state expenditures. That was one of the problems that conservatives had with Jindal the whole time he was there. It was form over substance. And to say I'm cutting 10%, I don't care about the number of positions. What I care about is the money that we spend to employ these people. And Edwards has done the exact same thing Jindal has. He may have cut positions, but he's increased the amount of money that it costs the state to have people in those jobs. And that's the wrong way to go. Alan, summing up our conversation this morning, it seems like you think that the only real revenue increase enhancer that's got a shot is a gas tax, because it's making some strange bedfellows on both sides. It's got a shot, but it's a very small shot. So you really think we can... I do want to clarify my probably earlier. I mean, I'm pretty firm no on that, but I'm leaving a little bit of hope on the budget. I mean, on the budget reform side. But I'm against the gas tax as it's currently written and everything that's proposed. I mean, I'm a solid no, and I believe that I don't think there's any way right now that they get to 70 votes in the House. So I don't think that's coming out. Not at 17 cents, maybe at a reduced rate. There's a lot of other things, like there's a $5 per night hotel room tax that's going to be dedicated to road projects. You know, there's a lot of other bills out there that are floating. I think that one's expected to raise maybe $120 million. Something like that has legs. I mean, again, I'm a no, but something like that may get through.
I like that. Everybody out of town pays that. I love that idea.
I agree. Man, that's the only tax that I've supported since I got there was the local hotel motel tax for the airport and the Independence Bowl and the Sports Commission. In fact, I carried that bill through the legislature. So, I mean, it was a local option for a local tax, but I mean, for a motel tax, but people out of town are paying it. So, again, if you're going to look at the overall scheme, there's a lot of ideas out there. We have a lot of very creative people that are looking for ideas and ways to solve these problems. I just come at it from the perspective, we don't need more revenue. We're taking in more revenue now than we need. We need to be better stewards of what we've got.
Thank you so much for your time. I'm sure I'll have you on speed dial. We'll be chatting next week.
Anytime.
You bet.
Thank y'all.